articulate your problems first, articulate your solutions, paint the picture of where you want to take your business as a marketeer. What do you want your group to deliver to the business? And then go and have that conversation with your CFO. It is easier to do it that way and ask for money to deliver a business outcome than it is to go to the CFO and go, hey, I'd like, $100,000 and I'm going to go off on this tangent and I'm not quite sure how it's going to benefit my business. So the budget piece for us was very clearly around getting and articulating the business value, making sure that we brought those business leaders with us on that journey. And then we could all then go and have a conversation with the CEO and get sign-off at that point.
And if we think about technology, what's becoming clear to me is that it can be a bit of a messy dance between, in particular for marketing, between marketing, IT, and sales. Each business function has its own sort of agenda, objectives, its own concerns and responsibilities that we, need to be considering if we're going to embark on a journey of transformational change from a marketing perspective. And we need to understand each stakeholders' unique requirements on that journey, because I think it is natural that we tend to look at things through our own lenses, in terms of what's this impact going to mean to me and my business, and am I going to lose some control here in terms of if I work with marketing in this new way. So Nick, I'd love to start with you, if you don't mind, because again you have shared some really amazing insights on your own personal journey. In the importance of having a vision was something that came out really strongly for me straight out of the gate. But you talked about marketing also being the driver of sales. I love that personally. My background is a 20-year sales veteran. I came into marketing later, and I actually found myself chuckling to your reference about coloring in department, because that was what all my sales team colleagues said to me, why are you moving to the coloring in department? But I did see at the time a real opportunity for marketing to evolve and take it to the next level. And I'd love to hear your view on, what your journey's been like. What have you seen, on that journey? And have there been times when the alignment between sales and marketing was just missing? What did that look like?
Yeah, for sure. I have grey hair that is remaining on the top of my head, so I've been around a while, and so I've worked in marketing and I've worked in kind of the sales part of it. I think the reality of it is the buying process has changed. So I'm in B2B, so definitely the B2B buying process has changed, but we see that as a consumer anyway, because there's just, a plethora of information and influencers, and the last place that somebody looks is the vendor's website. You're looking at comparison sites and all those kind of things. So if the buying process has changed, sales and marketing should be changing too. We're an enterprise SaaS model, so people want to be downloadable. You want to be able to get relatively quick, frictionless access to the stuff that you want, because we want it now, and then we want more of that. So if buying's changing, then sales and marketing need to change too. So that's really the kind of the biggest, within the sales organizations, there's a lot of, push for social selling and things like that. Well, that's just influencing and showing value and talking to people about everything other that you can talk about rather than trying to sell to them. So you mirror that into the marketing side of the world, which is educate your prospect, move them through the buyer's journey, establish value, earn the relationship that you have with them. And then collectively, you can then move them through to a buying. I've been very clear to then say a lead is a reflection of a behavior. A lead is not a name. Just because somebody's downloaded a white paper, that's an educational trigger. So lots of people want to be educated. Don't qualify that as a lead. Somebody has downloaded a white paper. You might be very proud of the white paper, lovely, but don't pass that to sales as a lead, because it isn't. It's a reflection of educational behavior, not buying behavior. When you're looking, at automation and just that, the conversation that you're having with the business, it's about, okay, let's look at all of our educational triggers. Let's do all of that, but let's look at how we can track behavior. And when somebody goes to a buying behavior, then have that conversation. So that's really the biggest kind of change that we're seeing in the world around us. And then as marketers, you want to be cognizant of the fact that sales want somebody who is ready to buy. Don't give them somebody who's still educating themselves. Move them through that process, move them through a customer journey. And then when you give them to sales, some of your metrics should be they actually progress through quicker than a non-marketing nurtured lead. And it's a good thing to nurture marketing leads properly and educate them and answer all of their questions. You're going to get a stickier customer at the end of the day. So go do that. Marketers will become more aligned to the business. And I think that's kind of my key call out as any junior marketers or people that are trying to learn about it, be aligned to the business and then choose to do that in a markety way. There's nothing wrong with that.
Brilliant insights there. I mean, Kevin, anything you'd like to add to some of those that Nick shared there?
Absolutely. So it's getting your stakeholders involved very, very early on in the discussion as well, right? So and understanding what's going to drive an impact for your business, not just from a marketing sense, from IT, how you're going to make their lives easier. If we've built cases around just those process of even manual data uploads, and I spoke about that governance before. Through to your sales team, through to your operations, account management. I think it's bringing everyone on the journey and understanding where you can make that impact is incredibly important.
You've encountered and had the great privilege of working with hundreds of clients, literally hundreds of clients across the APAC region. What are some of the key differentiators you've seen between highly successful companies like Nick that have really embarked on a transformational journey that's really seen them bring sales and marketing closer together and is enabling them to be the fast growth companies they are, versus those that struggle? Can you share some thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, there are many things I could talk about, but the number one I will focus on, which I think is kind of the be all and end all. This is the key difference is, have you managed to align the senior stakeholders in the business? So are you aligned? And that's what I consistently see. If you are, and we've just spoken about this, if you're siloed, it's going to be really challenging. But the organisations that do it really well, particularly the key functions of sales, revenue and marketing, are really closely aligned. And they're aligned and working towards the same outcome. And so that helps from before you even get the platform in, right? So again, going out and determining and trying to make a selection on a marketing automation tool without selling internally as to what it's going to mean for the organisation, that's a real challenge. And then once you've got it in, ensuring that it's our tool, it's our capability. We're delivering collaboratively to the business outcomes using this tool. The organisations that do that are the ones that are the most successful in my experience. The ones that are more siloed are always under pressure. Frankly, they're the ones that, my team then is having challenges at renewal time because they're challenged in terms of justifying and delivering to the expectations of value. So that's my key differentiator.
Excellent. I think we're heading up to the hour, but I definitely want to throw one more question out to you, Kevin and Mike. I'd like to ask you guys for, from your experience helping clients transition to Marketo, do you have any particular stories where the tension or imbalance in risk perception between departments, can you share any insights on that?
Yeah, so a really good story is of a customer called Interactive, right? Based in Melbourne, they do hardware, maintenance, data centers, business continuity. They do cloud and managed services, and actually they have sellers within the organization aligned to those different offerings, right? So that's challenge number one. How do I direct the right lead to the right person who actually might be interested in more than one solution for my organization as well? So when we came in and helped their business, they're in a state where sales and marketing were very much misaligned. These cold leads were getting sent over to sales. The sales team had no understanding of what they were interested in or why did they even reach a threshold to be sent over to me anyway. And so what we did is help them with their lead management and looked at, firstly defining what does a marketing qualified lead mean? What are the key indicators, both from a demographic, firmographic, and a behavior perspective that we can use towards scoring and reaching that threshold? Then I can hand that over to the right person. How to identify identify the right person to send it to, while we did things like interest scoring. So this person was interested in hardware maintenance, and also they were interested in your data center. So when the person picked it up, we routed it to the right person, but also that intelligence that we gave them, those insights really helped them close that deal moving forward. And what they're seeing now is a really poor, what they were seeing is a really poor experience when most of those leads weren't actually getting picked up and accepted by sales, when they're now at close to 100% of their marketing qualified leads actually being picked up and accepted by sales moving forward, which is pretty unheard of, and something that they should definitely be proud of on the journey they've come on.
I mean, that's a fantastic story. Mike, do you have any that you'd like to share?
Well, I was just going to touch on quickly some of the, and just throw to everyone on this call, like all the speakers here. So I summarised quickly the group responses to the question, Nicholas, which was what are some of the impediments.
Excellent.
Yeah, and so what I've got is essentially about 50% are either budget, ROI, or organisational mindset as the key impediments. And so my initial perspective is that's a challenge with building the business case. That's about half of the respondents really are saying that. Now, add to that, there were 2 responses that said a failed previous project related to CRM. And consequently, that's led to a lot of cynicism and some barriers in terms of being able to do another tech project. So we're probably at about 60% where the barrier is really struggling to get off the ground. Like, it can't get budget, can't justify ROI, struggling with the organisation coming on board, and then some prior challenges. So I guess, Nick Flude, I'm interested in your perspective. I'm not sure whether you've encountered all of those situations or some, but if you were in that situation where there was an impediment, what would be your approach?
I think what I would say is don't make this project about making a better marketing department. So that would be the first thing. So this isn't a case about you getting a better tool to be better at what you're doing. And this is this isolation of a function that's not really interacting into the business. So don't make it about yourself, make it about the business. Tie it to then the ultimate, success of the business, which is generating revenue. And that can be seen to be a dirty, word, but the company has to generate revenue, has to generate profit. So just skimming through some of the group chat, what I was kind of saying in terms of building a business case, there are some metrics that you might want to have a look at initially. Go talk to your sales team and go find out the length of the sales cycle. So when they get a lead, how long does it take them to close that piece of business? So go and work with them and say, right, if we get this marketing automation piece done, I will take a metric that says I will reduce that time, that sales cycle from 200 days. I will reduce it by 30% or something. But so that's one metric, length of your sales cycle. The number one there would be the number of qualified leads that your sales organization is dealing with. If you do it properly, you're going to increase the number of qualified leads that your sales organization is handling. And then the other one that you could do is you could then say, right, at a market coverage level, what is the current ability for your organization based on measuring organizational names in your target market? How many of those are you covering? How many of those are you engaging with? And they're all things that you could say, right, these are all tangible things that we can take, as a marketer, don't be afraid to take a number. Don't be scared of that one. Actually accept it and go, that's what I'm aiming towards. So reduce the sales cycle, increase the percentage of qualified leads within your pipeline, an increase in the number of organizations from your target accounts that you're covering. And then ultimately that's going to roll into percentage of marketing sourced pipeline that the sales organization is then going to go off and close. So 4 metrics. It's not going to kill anybody. So go and do that, and then again, just make it around the business.
I'm happy to tackle the failed projects one, Nick, as well, if you want.
Go for it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's something we see all the time, and you lose faith and trust with your leadership. You get IT offside if something's not delivered properly. What I'd say is it comes down to really simply, what are those use cases that are linked back to the business impacts and objectives that I'm trying to solve, right? Being really defined in terms of what you're trying to achieve and what the impact's going to be to the business. If you don't know what a use case is, go online and Google search use case, but where it talks about the who, the what, and the why. So what are you trying to achieve within your business? So it could be something like, as an account manager, I would like to receive an alert when my customer is 6 months away from renewal and the customer gets added into a nurture program. Why? Because it's going to help me renew that customer moving forward and have a bigger renewal book of business. So it could be as simple as that, just defining what are your top 3 to 10 use cases. And the beauty of that, it's going to give you what the impact is, it's going to give you the audience, it's going to give you what data you need as well. And sometimes it just comes back to defining that and not over-promising and then under-delivering as well. And to the business case point of view as well, it's about just being realistic. And whenever we do anything around like a value analysis or a business case, we are really try as much as possible for it to be your business case. It's not our business case, right? These are the numbers that you own and you're going to take to your board or your executive, and they need to be realistic. And if any other vendors promising you the world, you should be looking at that more closely.